In my last video, I went over a few helpful things for people going into their first year of college, and in this video, I'll be going over some natural supplements that people use to treat their anxiety, along with my experience of them. The first supplement is St. John's wort. Now, people don't really know exactly how St. John's wort works in your body, but many people think it's like an antidepressant, helping to raise the amount of serotonin in your body. And at the very least, many people have reported that it helps their anxiety and their depression. In fact, I know a couple people who have said it's helped them take some of the edge off of their anxiety. That said, I took 200 milligrams of St. John's wort a day for about a month straight, and I didn't feel any different whatsoever. So you can try taking it. It apparently has worked for some people. It didn't work for me, but maybe it could work for you. Just a side note, if you're currently on an antidepressant, then don't take St. John's wort, because if it actually does increase serotonin in the brain, then you could run the risk of getting serotonin syndrome, which results from an excessive amount of serotonin in your system and is not a fun situation. The second supplement is kava kava. Now, I don't exactly know what kava does to your physiology. You can get it in either supplement form or some kind of form in which you can put it in a drink and make a drink out of it. I only ever took the supplement kind, and it did absolutely nothing. But a lot of people report that it can help your anxiety a bit, so you can try it out for yourself. The third supplement is GABA. Now, GABA is a neurotransmitter in the brain, which is responsible for turning off neural pathways. The theory behind why someone would want to take GABA pills is that a lot of anxiety stems from too much activity going on in the brain. You've got too many things going on at once. So if you can shut down some of those things, you can become a little bit more calm and just relaxed. In fact, GABA is the primary neurotransmitter which is affected by benzodiazepines like Xanax and Valium, which are often prescribed to people with panic disorder. Unfortunately, simply ingesting GABA doesn't do a thing, because GABA can't cross what's called the blood-brain barrier, which is a sort of security system that your body has in check to prevent potentially harmful chemicals from getting from your bloodstream into your brain. That's not to say GABA is a harmful substance, it just means that the chemical makeup of GABA is not one that allows it to get past that barrier. I got GABA pills before I knew this, and predictably, they had no effect whatsoever. So the last three supplements have been pretty disappointing. The only one that is really even noteworthy would be St. John's wort. So now let's go into a couple supplements that actually helped me a bit. The fourth supplement is called 5-HTP. Now, 5-HTP is a precursor to serotonin, which means it will eventually turn into serotonin through the chemical processes that go on in the body. The good news is that 5-HTP is capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier, which means that it will get into your brain. I had mixed reactions when taking 5-HTP. Sometimes I would take it for a few weeks and not feel anything, but other times I would take it for a while and feel like maybe something was actually happening, just because I felt a little bit better and it felt like the edge was taken off of my anxiety just a little bit. So if I was normally a 7 out of 10 on the anxiety scale, sometimes when taking this, I would feel more like a 6 or a 5 on the anxiety scale. This supplement is not without its side effects though. First of all, if you take too much of it, you can feel nauseous. I did the first time I took it, and for like a half hour, I didn't feel good at all. Second of all, 5-HTP is also a precursor to melatonin, which is the neurotransmitter responsible for telling your brain that it's time to go to sleep. So when taking it, you might get a little bit drowsy. In fact, some people like taking it before bed because it can sometimes help them get to sleep better. In my experience, it never made me too drowsy, but I could definitely tell sometimes that I was a little bit more tired than normal. But if you find that the benefits greatly outweigh the side effects, then this can be a great supplement in your anti-anxiety arsenal. The fifth and last supplement of this video is L-theanine. This supplement does what everyone wishes GABA pills could do. L-theanine is a precursor to GABA, and it can cross the blood-brain barrier. Everything I said about GABA pills can be applied to this, except for the fact that L-theanine actually works. This was the natural supplement that I used most to help my anxiety. However, and this is gonna sound a bit weird, I didn't realize what effect it was having until months after I started taking it. Now, I don't mean that it didn't have any effect on me for months. I just mean that because I wasn't really aware of what to expect from the effects of it, I didn't really know what to look for when I took it. And so it wasn't until months later that I realized, oh, every previous time that I had taken it, it had done this effect. I just didn't know it had done that effect. Typically, I would take 300 milligrams at a time, but I just never felt anything. But I knew it crossed the blood-brain barrier, so I knew it had to have some kind of an effect. So one afternoon, I just said, screw it, I'm gonna take 800 milligrams of this to see what it actually does. And if I don't feel anything after 800 milligrams, then it does absolutely nothing. Now don't worry, I did check to see if there's a lethal dosage of L-theanine, and there actually is, but it requires you to take several grams of it, so I was totally fine. Anyway, I took the 800 milligrams right before a class, and during the whole class, this is how I felt. So from then on, I knew what the effect was, and I was able to take a much lower dosage and be able to recognize when the effect had kicked in and when it was starting to go away. Now, the effect is weird to explain. The only way I can really describe it is to say that you just experience less. It kind of dulls your experience. But this can certainly have a calming effect. It doesn't impair your ability to think, and it doesn't impair your motor functioning. It's also non-addictive, which means that your body will never build up a tolerance for it and need it. I ended up using it for about a year, and it definitely worked for me. So if there was one supplement that I had to recommend to somebody, it would be L-theanine. Also, it doesn't cost very much, so that's pretty nice. So that is the end of this video. I hope that some of these supplements can help you if you have problems with anxiety. If you liked the video, then without a doubt, share it with someone you know, and subscribe to keep up with my newest videos. If you have any suggestions for future videos, then without a doubt, leave a comment. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.